Okay. All right, I think it's recording. All right, so good morning. Bienvenidos, Sat Nam. Thank you guys for coming to another episode here of New Rich New Energy podcast here where we speak on the truth and nothing but the truth. Once again, very excited you guys to have Miss Laura in the building here. We decided to start making like a series on certain topics. We might have some lives too, which would be pretty cool because people can interact and ask us questions at the same time. So I think that's coming here in the future. But bringing her back, amazing author here, amazing individual speaking of truth. And today's topic that we wanted to kind of explore and expand on is nutrition, right? Uh, Very important topic, especially in somebody's path, being healthy. And we're just going to kind of cover some bases here and some things we're going to learn from our personal paths and what we're doing, things that we're implementing, products that we're using, and just to kind of shed some light on nutrition to help you guys. So, Laura, good morning. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you for having me again. It's a
Yeah,
pleasure being here.
thank you. So let's get right into it. So we're speaking nutrition here. What's important about nutrition? What is nutrition? Why are we supposed to learn about nutrition? Right.
Well, this is very important because nutrition is the fuel that we give to our bodies. We add what we eat. And it's very important to know and be aware and conscious of the things that you are eating and knowing not only like the pleasure that it gives you, but also what really does that to your body and how does it work with your chemistry and how it interacts with your energy field, if it brings up your vibration or if it brings you down. So it is very important.
No, absolutely. I truly believe that too. And I think you kind of hit it there. It's, being conscious and aware of what we're intaking, right? Physically on a biochemistry level, like, are we eating life or are we eating death?
Mhm.
And that plays on our energy. So yeah, it's really good to start researching for yourself, nutrition, healthy ways to kind of incorporate that in your life. So you become more Christ conscious, right? And your energy is just radiating. You want to eat things, you want to drink things that is just expounding on your energy. So I mean, I think a topic that we wanted to touch upon is what are some good alkaline foods to eat, right? What are some foods not to eat? So let's kind of start there and we'll go into it. So,
Well, maybe we can start with the things that we should avoid
ah, perfect.
because there are a lot of things that we really enjoy and that um, it's it's so amazing and so evil at the same time how these people that were controlling the world for all of these years, they made poison taste so deliciously good. I mean, when you do your research and you understand what you have been eating all these years and how they poison the food, and it's just, it is very worrying actually. So we have to pay attention to the things that we eat and try to eat as organic as possible. Try to avoid processed foods. Try to avoid meat, because in highly acidic foods like I don't know, alcohol, sugar is very bad for us, and it causes a great deal of addiction. I mean, I've been struggling with this my whole life. I love chocolate, and I still do eat it sometimes, but at least now I have more control over it. Before, I mean, I had to like had a candy or a chocolate every day
Mhm.
because if not, I mean, my mood was bad, everything was different, and and it is very addictive. So we have to be aware of the things that we are eating and try to just make a change. If you had those experiences and you enjoyed it, okay, nice. But now that you are aware that these things are not good for you, maybe you can just give it a try and make the most out of this experience and just give your body the correct food that it needs to work properly.
No, I agree. And just like you said, or from an organic state, I know who people who follow me, I'm all about organic in its natural state. And just like you, like chocolate is the sexiest food on the planet. Like we can debate on that. I believe
And everything.
chocolate is amazing, right? And I was a Snickers person. I used to love Snickers for some reason. But
I was a Nutella person.
what were you?
A Nutella person.
Ah, Nutella. Oh, that's my daughter.
Yeah,
That's my daughter. But see,
yeah,
this is the point I'm leading into. You can still recreate that in an organic, natural state. Just like
exactly.
just like you're saying, you got to stay away from things that are processed, things that come in a bag, things that come in a can. Um, one phrase I always use is dairy is scary. Like you
It's
gotta
so bad for us.
super bad. And I think everybody talks about, okay, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, but you know, I like to get a little bit deeper. Why is it bad? The thing about dairy, or what we're trying to explain about what foods not to eat and avoid, these things are acidic. So what ends
Yeah.
up happening is that we have a pH balance, right? We have to have a certain amount of alkalinity and acidity, and dairy creates lactic acid. That's the form, and that's super bad. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your bones, right? That's why people have lactic acid in their knees. You see how that works?
Mhm.
Um, and just like meats, just like you said, we can talk about this too as well. Like meat is no bueno for you. It's uric acid. That's the basis of that acid. So when you start introducing all these foreign acids that aren't natural, which isn't organic, of
Mhm.
course it's going to throw off your chemistry and your balance. So you got to eat as organic as you can.
Yes, according to Dr. Robert O. Young,
Mhm.
the ideal pH balance on the blood cells should be 7.365. So if you measure your blood um, or your pee, for example, it has to be equal or above 2.2 to know that your organs and everything is working properly. Because the thing with the body is that our bodies are alkaline by design, but all the processes that we have that are occurring naturally within the body, they produce acidic waste. So if on top of that we have a very acidic diet, a very acidic lifestyle, a very acidic um, process of thinking, very negative thoughts that this also affects too. So if you add all together and you have this acidic environment, then this environment becomes very friendly for microorganisms to be there and to just grow there. And that's why then we have disease. Disease is just the symptom of the effect of having a very acidic lifestyle and environment. It's like if you have a pool that it's contaminated, you have to change the water of the pool. That's what we have to do with our diet and with our system.
No, it's so true. And kind of piggybacking on the pH balance, pH means potential hydrogen. So I know a lot of people don't know that, but hydrogen is the number one on the scale that's going to keep your body balanced. So just like you said, if you're eating things that are acidic, you're introducing and creating an environment that's going to lead to deficiency. And just like you said, that's what disease is your body is not at ease. That's the word of disease. So
Exactly.
you see what I mean? So if you're like you said, if you have a diet that's acidic, a lot of sugars, things that are processed, just like Laura said, you're creating now an ecosystem within you that's going to cause a deficiency of whatever disease that's starting to happen internally, which then you start feeling externally. You see what I'm saying? So it's good to have a balance. Your stomach already has acids for everything that you intake. So let's talk about this. And this is one thing I've been researching, come to understand is water. What type
Very
of water? What type of water do you believe we should be drinking?
alkaline water
Alkaline. Mhm.
or distilled water. And there is like a big misunderstanding about distilled water because it really is very beneficial to our bodies because it really helps us and it has and it helps us to flush out all those artificial minerals that are included in our water and in our foods. So it is very important to be aware of the water that we eat, that we drink, and we should avoid water that has fluor. Definitely.
No, absolutely. Like I use distilled water all the time. I'm in the process of getting a hydrogen machine because now I come to find out that hydrogen water is the ultimate water that you can drink because it gives life to your body, right? Hydrogen in your water. Now, alkaline water is good, but this is what I've come to understand, Laura, that there's a big movement of people saying alkaline, 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 which is good. You want to have things that are alkaline going into your body. But these people are not understanding that if you just drink completely alkaline water, you're throwing off your pH balance. You need a certain level of acidity. So I think that's kind of like the misunderstanding that people are having in this health space is that, it's good to drink alkaline water, but me, I drink distilled water. And so people understand what it does internally is that distilled water, what it does is that it's a negative ion. So
Yes.
you see what I mean? So anything that you introduce into your body that's positive is bad. Now I know it's vice versa. They teach us that differently, but distilled water, basically, when you drink distilled water, what it's doing is just like Laura said, it's taking all those heavy metals, those
Yeah.
toxins, those free radicals that exist in our body, and it's flushing them out. Now, people are like, well, distilled water will just completely cleanse you of your nutrients. Yes, it's true, but then what it does is that it creates an empty space for you for when you eat your fruits or when you eat your vegetables, your body's able to absorb that naturally. So that's why
Ex-
distilled water is so good.
Yes, yes. I would love to have access to distilled water here, but it's kind of difficult.
Right.
I try, but I haven't been lucky on that yet. So that's why I've been sticking with my alkaline water. I use the pH drops from Dr. Young, and it makes a difference in the taste.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so different. I mean, when you taste when you taste the regular water without the drops, you can now I can see the difference. I can taste like the acidic, and it's like very bad. It's very different. So when you add the drops, it really makes a difference, and you feel hydrated when you drink water. Because when you are not drinking the correct water, you drink a lot of water and you don't feel hydrated. That affects too.
That's very true. And just like you touched upon at the very beginning, um, where was I going with this? Yeah, with the water, it's important what water you drink. And just like you said, like drinking tap water, faucet, and just like you said, depending on where you're from, it's hard to get access to these things. But that's a good recommendation there from Dr.
The
Young.
ideal water, I'm sorry, the ideal water, I think it should be a spring water, but like natural spring water. But how can you get access to that? I mean, and here it's not very, I don't know if it's like possible to really find those places anymore.
Yeah, it goes. One thing about me, it all goes back to natural. It all goes back to nature. Nature is simple. You know what I mean? When we're drinking and eating things from its natural state, that's how we're going to absorb that light, that those electrons, um, electrolytes, which is that spark that our cells need. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the foods we're not supposed to eat, of course, sugars. You know what I mean? That's the big priority there. Um, overcooking, overcooking your meals, right?
That's very, yes.
It takes away from the nutrients. We know that. Try to be as raw as you can. Um, and I'm a big speaker of this because it's a transition. Um,
Mhm.
I've been an individual where I was able to just turn it around. I can be raw all day, which I am for the majority of part. But some people have families, some people have kids, some people are getting started on this journey. So, little baby steps, every small thing, every big thing starts small. So for people who are getting into this, who are listening to this, like just start changing simple things in your life. You know what I mean? You don't have to go completely raw. And I think that's where people mess up and they go back to eating meat or they go back to their unhealthy ways because you're shocking your body. Your body's so used to like getting all this junk And then one day you just wake up, you're like, okay, I'm just eating raw vegetables. Your body's like, what the fuck? Like, and then it just throws you off, right? So start taking little steps, start introducing more vegetables, start eating more salads, right? Drinking the right water, and then eventually the ultimate goal is to eat raw. We all know that. But, substitute meat for vegetables. I use a lot of jackfruit. I use a lot of mushrooms. I use a lot of garbanzo beans, right? And I think that's another misunderstanding too about meat, is that the reason why we eat meat, you guys, it's two things. Number one, it gets us full. Naturally, we feel full, right? So it's that sensation of being full. But number two, it's the flavor. Nobody would eat a raw piece of meat if you served it on the plate. Bloody, just people don't eat meat. You have to season your meat. So it's more in the seasoning, right? It's in the taste. You just take that seasoning and you transfer it over to a vegetable. It's the same concept, right? So it's little things like that. You see what I mean?
That's beautifully explained, actually, yes.
So kind of encourage people, like, so you have that understanding, like, you don't eat meat. We're not supposed to eat flesh. Like, that's when disease first, I know, or I come to believe that that's when disease first got introduced to mankind, is when they started eating flesh. We were created perfectly in the image of our creator. We didn't need to eat meat. And I think once we started doing that, that's when disease started to come into play. That's from my studies. So
Yes, amazing. That was I agree with you. And I think before trying, people should like understand and really be clear on the reasons why they are doing it, why they're trying that. Because once you are committed with yourself and you know why you're doing it, and you understand that you are aware that maybe, I mean, that it is not the healthiest thing for you and that you should try another way to see how you feel about it and just at least try. But you have to be like very understanding of the reasons of why you're doing it so you can keep up with it and go to the final goal. And also it is very important to understand that the difference between eating raw and eating something that is cooked is that since we are a spirit and we also have the body, we have to, with our food, we have to also take care of the spirit and of the body. So when we eat something raw, like I don't know, like a fruit or a salad or something like that, you are also taking with you the spirit, the energy of that living thing that it's made from the earth and that has the alchemy, the right alchemy for the body, because it will feel both things. But when you have something that is cooked, that is dead, it doesn't have this frequency. So we have to think about that too. That's why the meat is so heavy for the body to process, and we are here to create our light bodies. So we have to be um, as fragile as a leaf. So that's another thing to keep in mind too.
no, absolutely. And it's the intention. No, absolutely. It's your intention of what you eat. Just like you said, it is of spirit. It is a living. Everything is living consciousness.
Mhm.
Rock, a fruit, everything is living consciousness around us. So we have, when you become, when you start going on this path, you start becoming aware of that, and then I think what ends up happening is you gain appreciation, right? You start being appreciative of things that were given to us naturally for us to eat, so we can maintain in this physical body at the same time building our spiritual temple. Solomon's temple, the soul of man, Solomon. You're building your soul, you see? So,
Exactly.
and that's the thing, like, I think, and I've seen this around too, when people want to get into debates, arguments, like it's crazy. But the thing about meat, if you want to have, for example, if you want to have some bacon in the morning with eggs, you have to kill that entire pig. It's not coming back. People say, well, you're doing the same thing when you eat a fruit. No, you got to understand, like, you can pick an apple, eat it, and the apple's going to regrow. That's the way nature created things. You see what I mean? You
It
can't.
doesn't have a nervous system.
right. It's,
That's the difference.
no, it is. It's like that was created for us to sustain, and it's gonna grow back. You can pick apples all day and it's gonna grow back, right? You know, for a piece of bacon, you have to kill an entire animal, which isn't coming back. So you got to start understanding the logic and the common sense and things, how nature created stuff. And I think once you start working, and I believe for myself, I know for myself is that once you start working on your health, you start unlocking a different way of thinking because it's just natural, right? So to a person who has an unhealthy diet, eating a lot of things who are acidic, still eating meat, a lot of dairy, they haven't unlocked that understanding, that light, that those downloads, because they're on a lower level of energy. Once you start taking that away and implementing things that are good for the body and for the soul, you start to access these different types of thoughts, these different,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
You when you higher your vibration, when you work on your vibration, and you are able to maintain like a stable high vibe for most of the time, you see the difference and you feel the difference, and you can tap into those frequencies, and it makes a very like a big difference in your life. And that's how we experience magic, basically.
magic every day. So
So
we've
maybe we
got,
can,
go-
no,
no,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Maybe we can talk about the things that we should eat and that are beneficial to us.
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely. Do you want to
For
start?
example, food, fruits, vegetables. What else?
Um, yeah, fruits. It's very simple, you guys. Fruits to me, it's fruits, vegetables, herbs, nuts. Stay away from cashews. I got to throw that out there real quickly. Cashews are not good for you. I did a video on that. And maybe you don't know this, but the thing about cashews is that
Really, I love cashews.
I know I used to love them too, Laura. But
Really?
so let me just throw this out. I've done videos on this. But the thing about cashew, what it is that in its natural state, because of course we want to absorb things in its natural state, a cashew is green. A cashew isn't white and bleached that you see being sold in the supermarkets as raw organic. That's not the natural state. Look it up. A cashew is green. And the reason why Mother Nature created that way, because that's its defense mechanism. It's a poison. So that's why animals don't even eat cashews. They know instinctively from nature. So what ends up happening is they take these cashews that are green, they process it, and then they sell it to us, and it looks like it's white, amarillo, tannish, and they say it's organic, and it's not. It's stripped all the nutrients. So cashews are bad. They're bad.
Oh my God.
So nuts,
Okay.
yeah. So nuts, and let me tell you guys, I got to throw this disclaimer out there. We're not doctors. We're not,
Like,
all that good stuff, because people are gonna watch this and be like, oh, whatever. If you're in your feelings, it is what it is. But
this
cashews
is
is
based
not.
on experience, and this is only based on our experience. So
Okay, these are recommendations, you guys, right? These are all recommendations. As far as nuts, everything but cashews, almonds, walnuts,
I have to
cash,
make my peace with that.
huh?
I have to make my peace with it. Oh my God.
Yeah, like I just created an organic cheese using almonds, and that's why it hits home for me because I love to cook. Like
Me
I
too.
love I love the kitchen, right? That's if I'm not posting stuff about what's going on, in the world or nutrition, I'm posting my videos, being an example, showing people that there's an alternative way of cooking, right? And it can still be good for you, like flavorful, right? Um, but yeah, stay away from cashews, you guys. It's not good for you guys. It's not good. But
Uh,
yeah, drinking the right water, like you said, and that's really the basic principles when it comes to having a healthy diet. As far as sweets, eating organic chocolate from the cocoa. You can buy yourself raw cocoa and it's good.
yeah.
And with everything, it's just moderation, you guys. Like you can create so many things, so much magic. You can be that alchemist that we've been calling to create. And I love being an alchemist in the kitchen because I love to create, especially from natural things. So, those are basically some things. Now, what do you suggest? It's pretty simple on my end.
Well, vegetables, fruits, nuts. Um, I would coconut water. Coconut water has amazing properties and it's naturally alkaline. So it's very, very important to drink coconut water. Tea, lots of natural tea with herbs. And my brother, he has been working on, he has always been a fan of teas. I wasn't a fan before, but now thanks to him and his inventions, now I love tea. And it really makes a difference when you drink a lot of tea because it's very healing. I mean, the herbs, the earth provides everything that we need. The herbs help you to heal. The food gives you the fuel and the vitamins that you need. And the water keeps us hydrated. And we also have the sun. So we have everything basically in the land.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's one thing I always, use as a basis is our four elements. Just like you said, that's what tea has, right? What is tea? The herb, it's earth, right? The ground. Then you have yourself water to create the tea, right? That's your second element. Then you have air, which is the steam, it's steaming it, it's alkalizing it, it's changing it, right? And then you
Mhm.
have, the fire, that creates that steam. So there you have your four elements being an alchemist when you drink tea. And herbs are so nutritional, like people don't understand. I love teas as well. And kind of getting into that, like, let's kind of talk about some of the products, right? Because,
Oh, yes.
right, um, you see me drinking this here. This is fulvic acid. I don't know if you're aware of what fulvic acid is, but basically this is dirt. And I know it may seem a little weird, but a little dirt never hurt. They ever said that, right?
Okay.
But what's very important about fulvic acid, I drink this. You can use fulvic acid to brush your teeth. You can use it for face mask because basically what fulvic acid is, it's dirt but hidden very deep within the ground. And fulvic acid has a lot of trace minerals, natural and acid compounds. And basically what it is, it helps boost your immune system. It's a negative ionic charge because the ground is negative. So when you actually digest this, it's pulling again all those toxins, all those chemicals, those free radicals. It helps boost. That's basically what it is. It helps boost your immune system. So don't go out there and just pick up dirt. That's not what I'm saying. You gotta you gotta find a manufacturer, and this is what I use. She's very amazing. I'm not getting paid for this. She does very well on her own, but you gotta. I think when we get into this lifestyle, her name is Try Being True.
Okay.
You have to. I'll put it in the link. You have to do your research, and because there's a
Yeah.
million and one products, right? And it could be a little bit overwhelming. But you got to do your research and buy things from people who actually care. I think that's my buying point. If I look at
Yeah.
somebody who cares, who's really trying to do something good for you, go to that person. You understand what I'm saying? Just don't go to the top seller on Amazon because it says bestseller. You got to see how it's being produced, who's producing it, and the energy behind it. So, yeah,
And how you
Fulvic
feel
acid. Hmm?
and how you feel about it. The
No,
heart let you know.
yeah, your body, right? We have an inner physician, intuition, whatever you want to call it, spirit,
Mhm.
and it doesn't talk to us in words, right? Our body doesn't talk, but it expresses itself in feelings and emotions, right? So when you start tapping into that, your body will tell you if something's wrong. If you eat something, you'll feel alive. If you eat something that's not good, you'll feel like, oh, right? So,
That
and that's the whole thing about healthy guys. Once you continue to be healthy and go to next levels, you'll become intuitive about things, right? Your mind will open up and you'll be able to feel like from the heart, not from the mind, but from the heart. And you just become in a state of flow. We talk about flow. I don't know. That's my word. But
that
yeah, you become intuitive about the things that you're intaking, and that's that's very important because you have to listen to your body.
definitely.
You have to listen, and when you're clear and you're light, you'll be able to feel that, those sensations, those little nudges, and you'll be like, oh, okay. I'm very intuitive in the kitchen. I can never follow a recipe. I'm always adding a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And that's that little intuitive side of me. You see what I mean? So
Yes, making it your own.
absolutely. Absolutely. So
Well, I didn't know about that, so I'm going to check it out. So I learned something new today. That's very interesting. One thing that I've used and I really recommend is the nanosoma.
okay.
I don't have one here. I run out of it, but it's made it promotes the auto regeneration of the good cells, of the healthy cells of the body, and it really makes a difference. It helps your body to detox from graphene oxide and all those things that are on the injection, and it helps you with your sleep, with your thinking process. It's like I see after taking a nanosoma, it's like a before and after. And my brother has taken my dad too, and I really really recommend it. And I also think that we should talk about superfoods. Um, what type of superfoods are you currently using, for example?
My biggest superfood is sea moss. Um, Again, I get it from young lady here because I know the source. But to me, there's a million and one superfoods, you guys. Cocoa is a superfood. People don't understand that. Uh, goji berries, right? My daughter always corrects me. I say Asia. I keep Asia. I keep forgetting how to say that word. Akia. I forgot what it is, but these are all superfoods that I use in smoothies that I use. But my biggest one is sea moss because you got to understand we are pillars of salt, right? Salt life. It's biblical. You know what I mean? We'll return back to the earth. We're of dust. Well, I wanted to kind of expand about the fulvic acid because one component of the fulvic acid is called the humus or the humus, which is an organic component of the dirt itself, right? Naturally. And what does humus sound like? Human. You see what I mean? So these are things that we need naturally that nature is telling us, but we want to go, listen to these doctors and all these, people with certificates and degrees. But yeah, sea moss is very big. It has over 92 to 97 minerals. Our body needs 108 on a daily basis. So depending on which one you buy, it could vary. But yeah, sea moss to me is a big influence in my life that I use on a daily basis just to get those minerals that I need. You see what I mean? You need 108 minerals, vitamins, probiotics every day. And how do we do that? We just can't take vitamins and eat yogurt. So sea moss kind of condenses everything, and I put a scoop in it, in my smoothies, or I might feel crazy one day depending how I wake up, and I'll just eat it, with the spoon. But for me, sea moss is a big superfood.
Okay, okay. I'm not currently using any superfood, but I've tried a couple. For example, there's one like cacao elixir, I think is the name, that is very good, and it is combined with some mushrooms. And the mushrooms have so many good properties, and you can find like lots of different brands and superfoods that come from mushrooms. So
Yeah, I use mushrooms all the time. I love mushrooms, right? There's a big thing about ancient mushrooms. That'll be for another video. But yeah, it's very true, you guys. There's superfoods out here, fruits that you can eat. And, I look at superfoods as being like a superior level of foods, right? It's a different level of consciousness and frequency that, when you eat these things and you absorb them, you just feel different. You gain that consciousness. See, it goes back to like opening another door, right? Unlocking another system, unlocking another way of understanding and intelligence. So yeah, superfoods are very important. We should do a video one day on
and
superfoods. Huh?
you get more nutrition from superfoods by eating less, and it's better for the body. Eventually our diets will be basically liquids, And I've experienced that with all the changes that I've made, that I really enjoy food and I love to cook. And I really enjoy like having a really nice meal. And in my family, we are all cook, so we all cook very well all the time. But there are days that I don't want to eat. I just want to eat, have liquids and have my protein shake and my green juices and lots of tea. And I'm just fine with it. Like my body doesn't have to like eat anymore like it used before. And that happens after you work on your light body and you recover more and you hold more light. So
Yeah, I think
I don't
without
know
even,
if you
yeah,
have,
without even knowing, Laura, like you, people don't understand it. It has to become more liquid. The wetter the food, the longer you live, right? So what is it that we feed babies when they're small? Baby food. What do people eat when they become older in their age? You see, in that between time, we get
Mhm.
crazy, but it comes back to the natural
That-
simplicity of nature. We have to have, we have to have that liquid,
yeah.
that liquid base. And I don't like to use the word diet because I'm big on words and etymology. And if you really look at the word diet, if you take the T off of it, it's die. So I think they've used that word to kind of create this space now because there's a million and one diets, right? Diets throw
Yeah.
them out the yeah, diets throw them out the window. Go back to the simple. What was that?
Mhm.
You're
That you should have like a lifestyle or just eating the right foods, and your body will tell you. You have just to listen to your body and you will know what you have to, what do you need.
exactly.
You just have to listen
Yeah, like I hear
and your
people
body will
like
let you know.
I have friends of mine. Oh, I'm going back on the keto diet. Why are these things continuing to fail you? You see what I mean? And people like are like
And what do
you're
I'm
kind of
sorry, is
you're kind of
the
breaking up for me.
internet okay? Okay, it's it better now?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
All good?
All good in the hood. All good in the hood.
Okay, okay. So you were saying,
No, no, you were saying something and we couldn't hear you, so
oh, I don't remember now.
it's all right.
Oh, I remember now.
Okay.
I remember. So I will have a question. And what do you think about coffee?
What do I think
What
about
are
what?
your thoughts? Coffee. What are your thoughts about coffee?
Coffee.
Do you drink coffee? Do you like coffee?
Yes, yo soy boricua. Like we're raised on okay. So people who know me, I used to be coffee 24/7, no water. And I'm talking about hot coffee, iced coffees all day, every day, because of the lifestyle and the work that I was living, right? I used to love coffee. But it goes back to moderation. I still drink coffee from time to time, but now it's different. Like it's um it's an appreciation, right? And you got to drink the right coffees too. That's another thing because we all know caffeine is bad. Now, I'm slowly transitioning and creating coffee from natural things like the date seed. Those seeds, if you mash them up, you create coffee. You see what I mean? So I'm being an alchemist in that way. But as far as coffee, like now I drink it. If I drink coffee, it's an espresso. Because actually somebody showed me. I have a friend from the Dominican Republic. Ella me explicó, she explained to me the coffee that I was drinking that we make in a pot, they consider
Mhm.
that agua sucia. And I didn't understand that. Right. I'm like, what? I don't, but
Okay.
thinking about it and reflecting on it, now I understand why, people drink espresso because it's a higher concentrate of the coffee. And instead of making a big pot of water, which is really crap, you know what I mean? Like, so
Okay.
I threw away the coffee pot. So I do have an espresso machine. I do make espressos I had one this morning. You know what I mean? But
I love coffee.
yeah, I love coffee and coffee isn't a bad thing, but like I said, it's in moderation. Like you can't be a glutton to things, and you got to appreciate it when you drink it. And slowly but
And it's
surely,
good.
Yeah, I'm creating my own ways of naturally drinking coffee, but yeah, I love coffee. I'm not gonna
Me,
deny it.
and it's also how you do it.
Mhm.
I love coffee, but for example, we shouldn't have coffee first thing in the morning when we wake up. That's because coffee is highly acidic. So if you want to have your coffee in the morning, you can just first have a green juice or coconut water or alkaline water or distilled water or and have like a small breakfast of fruit or something. Have something in your stomach before putting that highly acidic substance into your body. So you just have to be more mindful of how you do it and just have some measurements and precautions to help your body to absorb it better because coffee also has very good properties. So and obviously if we don't add sugar to it. So
Absolutely not. And if you do add sugar like me, there's natural sugars that you can use like date sugar, monk fruit. These are natural sugars that are good for the body. You see what I mean? I think let's talk about this. You kind of brought that up because as since we're talking about things not to eat, what to eat, nutrition, I like to give people like examples, right? Because they're like, okay, we've heard this a million times. In the mornings, what are some of your day routines that you go through to kind of set yourself up for success? Like, what do you do exactly in the morning? Just like you said, instead of drinking coffee, you drink water. Like, what do you do to kind of get yourself going?
okay, well when I open my eyes, I drink water, alkaline water. And then I just have my green juice. And after that, like maybe 2 hours later, I'll have my protein shake. And then I'll just eat at night something. I don't know. I will eat something like for example, a salad or tacos. We make here a lot of what we call jarroas. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Do you know?
Hmm.
So we use the air fryer, so we don't use like a lot of oil and anything like that. And that's basically it. And for example, if I go away for a weekend or if I know that I had a very acidic diet, because sometimes it's difficult to, for example, in my case, it's difficult to always have an alkaline diet unless you're cooking all the time and you have the time to really make it happen. It is difficult, so you have to know what you can do when that happens. So if I'm feeling very acidic, when I wake up in the morning, I'll also have baking soda. I'll add like two little spoons of baking soda and that brings you like right away. It helps you to like bring your system back to being more alkaline again.
Yeah,
So that's basically what I do. What do you do?
yeah. Just to kind of for people who understand that bicarbonate now, right? There's different forms of baking soda, so don't go out there getting crazy. It's bicarbonate. Um,
Or yes.
yeah, for myself, um, I always go back to nature because she teaches us everything, simplicity, right? So in the mornings, like when I wake up in the morning, um, it's like an appreciation, right? I go through I'll sit there and I'll just appreciate, set my intentions, pray, meditate. And I kind of, if you look at a cat, right, it may sound funny, but look at the animal kingdom. What do cats do? The first thing they do when they wake up. Have you ever noticed what a cat does?
No.
What a cat does is it stretches. But I mean, when you look at a cat stretch, like you can tell it's enjoying its stretch. Like it's a nice stretch,
It's
right?
true.
Right? These are the things that the universe tells us, but we don't recognize it. So in the morning, we stretch. Enjoy your stretch. Enjoy that. Enjoy that appreciation for having breath and waking up, right? And then what is the second thing that the cat does after it stretches? It starts to lick on itself. It starts to clean itself.
Mm,
It's naturally
okay.
instinctively built that way. So relating it and correlating it to us as humans, enjoy your stretch, enjoy that moment that you wake up and then love on yourself, right? Set that intention, set your goals or whatever you want to call it. But for me, after that, physically, I drink water. I drink water with lime. Because of course, when you sleep, your body becomes dehydrated, so you have to hydrate your body. So of course, for me, it's water, and I'll eat fruits or smoothies all day. I'm on a liquid based type, lifestyle myself. So I'll just eat fruits, smoothies, fruit juices, things of that nature. And just like you said, your body will start telling you when you're hungry. So
Mhm.
if I start to have that hunger and I need some substance, I'll make a salad or I'll create a dish or I'll have dinner because I have kids. Well, they're grown adults. I'm waiting for them to leave, but no. But yeah, it goes back to being intuitive. It goes back to listening to your body, right? So yeah, those are the things that I do. So
Well, I forgot to mention that besides that, because I was only focused on what I was eating, on my routine, on the things I eat, I set my intentions for the day right when I wake up. I meditate, I journal, I make a list. I have two lists. One of the things that I have to do, that my responsibilities, and another list of the things that I want to do for myself. So I set the intentions and I just go with the day. And sometimes I go upstairs and I take 10 or 15 minutes of sunlight in the morning. That's very important for our bodies and for our health too. And and that's it.
no, well, let me continue then. My rituals, things that I do that I know that's helping me spiritually, physically, right? Seen and unseen. I do all that in the morning and I chase the sun. I sun gaze every morning. And this kind of goes back to nutrition. So you guys understand when you start becoming more nutritionally aware, you got to remember your body has been in a state of just effed up that you need to start creating that new environment, that new earth, right, within you. So one way to do that is sun gazing, you
Mhm.
guys. There's one of the four elements right there, fire, the sun. The sun gives light. You know what I mean? And it helps you grow. So people don't know when you sun gaze, yeah, people are like, oh, he's crazy. He's looking at the sun. It's devilish. It's none of that, you guys. It's really a photosynthesis
Um,
process biochemically. When you look at the sun directly
mhm.
with your eyes, it does two things, and people don't know this. The mitochondria, which if people don't know, that is the center nucleus of every cell within your body, right? We have billions and trillions of cells. The only way for your mitochondria to become activated is only through direct sunlight from the sun. So that's why when people go on diets or they want to lose weight, they're like, I'm doing X, Y, and Z and it's not working. It's because your mitochondria has checked out. Your mitochondria is the number one thing, the nucleus in your body that its sole purpose is to retrieve the nutrients, the good nutrients that you're eating or drinking. So if your mitochondria checked out and it's not functioning, you may think you're eating salads and you think you're drinking protein shakes and all this stuff, but your body's not naturally absorbing it because you have to create it back to naturally how it was, to that balance. So I sun gaze myself, get grounded. I walk barefooted everywhere, right? No
Yeah.
gente, people think I'm crazy, but it's okay. You can think what you want. I walk around my neighborhood barefoot. Not only is it good because at the bottom of your feet, it's a blueprint for all your nerves and pressure points. You got to activate that. You got to shock your body, right? And also too, you're receiving that. There we go again. That negative ionic energy from Mother Earth, which is good. You need that energy, so you need to get grounded. You need to walk barefooted. Um,
Hug a tree. That's very
that's
important.
true. My mom
And
does that. Yeah,
really,
yeah, she does that. Yeah, yeah, like we have to get back to nature, you guys. Nature, the answer is in nature. Like she has all
de-
the answers.
definitely yes. And also sitting with the back against of a tree and just sitting there, being there in the moment for like 10 or 15 minutes, that's incredibly healing for the body, for the mind, and for the soul too. And I mean that the earth has everything. The earth has all the things that we need. We just have to make use of those resources and take care of those resources and take care of us too.
No, absolutely. And of course, I always got to say these things because people are going to be like, "Oh, my eyes burnt out." Look, there's only there's only certain times of the day that you can look at the sun directly, and I'll keep it very simple. From 6 to 8, like I can look at the sun at any time of the day now because I do it every day, right? I'm a, starseed. I'm a child of the sun, right? Um, but between 6 and 8 a.m., those times right there in the morning, there's no radiation being emitted from the sun. So you can directly look at the sun. That's why people enjoy sunrises, right? Or
Mhm.
between 6 and 8 at night when it's going down. Again, there's no radiation. So those are just throwing that out there. Don't go out there in the middle of the day at 12, 1, 2 o'clock, try to look at the sun. You're going to burn your eyes out. So
Yes, please don't do that.
don't do that. So yeah, so that's like I said, I kind of work off the 4 elements. There you go again, drinking the right water, taking baths, swimming. That's your water element. Those are the physicalities to start building that healthy internal system. I sun gaze. That's fire. That's the fire element. Receiving that type of energy. Meditation. I'm big on meditation. Like, the breath is so important to us. There's your air. You see what I mean? And then getting grounded, walking on earth. Those are your 4 elements, you guys. This is how you're going to start creating that natural ecosystem within your body that we're supposed to have originally. So when you start eating right, it processes it correctly and you start seeing the results. You see what I mean?
And I know it's very difficult. I know it's very hard to transition and to eat this way. For example, I used to eat pizza every week. I love cheese so much, and when I made the decision of stop eating cheese, it was very difficult for me because I was so in love with pizza, but my body was telling me I was feeling sick, and I knew inside of me that I had to quit eating cheese, and I felt so sad, and it was like someone died for me. But it made I realized how big difference it made in my health, and I just look at it this way. Okay, I had this experience eating cheese. Now I'm going to have this experience without eating cheese. I'm very grateful because every time that I wanted a pizza, I ate it and I enjoyed it, and it made me happy. So now I'm going to have this experience, and it's going to be different. And we have to understand that we have to sacrifice some things in order to have others. And we can have all the things that we want, but everything has to vibrate at the same frequency. So everything is stable and to avoid disease. So
No,
I was getting, yeah,
no, I was a big cheese lover too. I used to just eat it right off the. We all love cheese, right?
yeah,
But let me ask you, why did you think you loved cheese so much? Was it the
because it
flavor?
was so bad.
So if you guys don't understand, I'll jump into this real quickly. But the reason why cheese is addictive, right? Because it really is addictive, right?
It is, yeah.
Um, all cheese from all dairy, when they process it, they use what's called casein, casin. Looked at and everything we're talking about, you guys, please do your own research. Don't take it for
Yeah,
one value.
do your own research.
Do your own research all the time. But they introduced what's called casein. This is an inorganic chemical that they put within the processing of cheese. And when we digest casein, when it starts to break up, our gastric juices with the acids break up casein, it turns it into a different isotope. And that isotope triggers the neurons specifically in our brain that triggers when we do drugs, such as, coke, heroin. It triggers that. So that's why
Mhm.
cheese is addicting. It's neurological. That casein is giving that addictiveness and then opening up your brain thinking that it's having drugs. It's so crazy what they're doing. Like these people are
It
very
is.
sneaky. They're very sneaky. So
It is. It is just so crazy how they made poison taste so good.
so good. Yeah.
I mean, and now that I think, now that I see food and life this way, I just think about sometimes all the candy that we have as a child, all the sugar that we eat on a regular basis since we are little, and then we wonder why we are older and then we have disease.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And I know it's very difficult to transition from eating sugar to not eating sugar or not having as many desserts as before, but also we have to be mindful and just make better choices because there are a lot of vegan and healthy desserts that you can make and things that you can enjoy that are very very tasteful and will serve that need of that craving of sugar of candy, and you can do it in a healthier way. So if you're craving a dessert or a chocolate or something sweet, for example, just make the right choices and choose the best thing that you can have at the moment for your body, and look for things that not only taste good but also have something extra that is going to be good for your system too.
No, absolutely. We've been, us being Hispanic, like we've been birthed into this reality and indoctrinated with the worst foods possible. My parents didn't understand, their parents didn't understand, so it's kind of breaking the cycle of unhealthy eating. You know what I mean? Now that we have access to information, that's what I tell everybody. Like, we come from an age where we didn't have access to information. And if we did, we had to go to the library. That was our form of knowledge. But now we have it at our fingertips. So ignorance is no longer a choice, you guys. The information's everywhere. It's your choice to now take it upon yourself and be healthy for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So, ignorance, you can't be ignorant no more. That's not an excuse. Now it's just laziness. Now it's, and a lot of that has to do with, like you said, with the foods that we eat. It lowers our vibration, and we don't love ourselves. We don't take the things and the timeouts to, you know, truly do what we're supposed to be. So when you start eating these foods, like she said, that of light, things that are nutritious, things that are going to be good for you, you start opening up your mind, your gray matter starts to activate, and you start having these downloads of wisdom. You're like, oh man, why was I doing that? So you begin to reflect, and then moving forward, you just continue to just build on your health. It's so important.
Yes, it is. It is. We have to be present in our bodies. We have to feel what we have to feel. We have to feel our emotions. We have to be present with our emotions because our bodies tell us the things that we need to know. Our body is constantly speaking to us, but we have to be aware and be present in the moment. We have to understand, I mean, our power is in the now, and we have to be present because we can do magical things in the now. The future will eventually, you will have to deal with the future when it arrives, and the past already is gone. So you have to be present in the things that you're doing and why you're here, and also be very mindful of the reasons behind the things that you do, your actions, and the things that you say. We have to pay attention to that, and all those things are connected to a good health and have a great body and feeling good in your body.
No, I agree. Just like the ancients, they've taught us, we have three brains: our stomach, our heart, and our mind. Like, speaking on that level, like you got to have, to have a good stomach, you have to have a good mind, and vice versa. You see what I mean? Like this whole thing about 99% of your mind, that's all bullshit. Like you have to incorporate the spirit with the physical. You have to find that balance. That's why we have a pH. And I see a lot of people
Yeah.
out here being spiritual, which is cool. I'm not discrediting your path, but they're not taking care of their physical. So there's no way you can have a certain level of understanding if you're talking about lights and angels and Galactic Federation, and you look horrible. Like it, let's not do that. You know what I mean? You can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. You know, here we're talking about nutrition. You know, I consider to be myself a person who's healthy and continues to work on my health. If I had no teeth and I got bags under my eyes and I look sloppy and I'm telling you to drink folic acid, and you would look at me and be like, you're full of shit. Like, so you gotta, like you said, you gotta really have that discernment and that awareness and that recognition, that inner physician, and look at the source. You know, people are going to be examples of what they're doing internally. You know, people can be external and talk all the time, but you'll see, and they don't even have to talk. You feel that vibration, you'll feel that frequency, right? That's truth resonating from heart to heart. So it's like, it really goes back to the source too, and what you're watching and what you're reading and what you're researching. Follow people or take recommendations from people who are being an example. You know what I mean? Not just talking, because at the end of the day, everybody can talk. You know what I mean? But what are you creating, right? What are you creating? So, I don't know how to
Yeah,
get that off my
I
chest. I
agree.
don't know.
I agree. No, that you're right. You're right. Um, we have to be very mindful of the things that we say, the things that we eat, and we have to talk more about these things. And we have to bring your attention to things that really help us. And nutrition.
You're kind of breaking up there, Laura. Can
And
you hear me?
can you hear me now? All
Okay,
good now?
you're back. You're back. Okay, start over.
Okay, no, that's I was saying that we have to be very conscious of the things that we eat and the things that we think and the things that we say, and just try to make the most out of this experience. Understand that we have to put ourselves in a pedestal from the heart with compassion, being humble and understanding that we all have shadow and light in us, and we have to deal with it, and we have to feel our emotions, and we have to be brave because that's why we are here. And we have to deal with our emotions and our limitations and understand that even if you do have access to everything, it doesn't mean that you have to do everything and eat everything and we have to be very conscious of the things that we do and how we use this gift of being here. And and I don't know, I think that we cover pretty much all the topics that we wanted to discuss,
No, I agree.
and this has been very amazing.
You're kind of breaking up,
Yeah,
but yeah. No,
you're
you're right.
breaking
Yeah,
up now.
yeah. We've gone an hour and 10 minutes. You're right. We can, because I can just go on for days, right? No, but like you said, we covered a lot of topics. Um, no, I appreciate your amazing, beautiful, divine insight, especially when it comes to nutrition. Your perspective, your feelings, your emotions. I always love it when you're on here on the podcast. So that's really basically it, you guys. Hopefully we shed some light, we gave you some examples, some recommendations, some things to do and not to do, right? And just like Loda said, she said it amazingly well. You just have to, your body, you have to feel your body. We're our own inner physician. You understand what I'm saying? We're our own experiment. I'm my own experiment. I'll eat things. If it doesn't feel right, I don't do it. But if it feels good, then I continue to do it and grow on it. So it's just listening to yourself, right?
Exactly, these are only suggestions and things that have worked for us, but we all have to try for us for ourselves. You should try for yourself and see how you feel and do your research. Pay more attention to your life and to your well-being. Make the 2022 is 222, and number two is related to the divine feminine energy, and we all have to work to balance our energies, and we all have to work on our divine feminine energy, and this is related to nurturing ourselves, taking care of ourselves, to feeling our emotions, um, to being present in the moment, and really enjoying the good things of life, the finest things in life, because we came here to have the best human experience that we could have. So I think that we I don't know. I hope this are people starting paying attention to their diet or eating lifestyle, let's say. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
and that's how I learned it. Eat things that are life. Don't eat things that are death, right? Because then you attach yourself with that. So that's my recommendation. Get plenty of sun, get plenty of rest, breath work,
Yeah.
meditation, get yourself grounded. You have to be physical too. That's what a lot of people aren't doing. They want to eat healthy, but they're not doing physicality. They're not doing cardio. They're not exercising. You got to remember we have lymph nodes, you guys. Our lymph nodes is our sewer system. The only way that the lymph nodes are activated is through motion. So
We have to move the energy around.
gotta move the chi. So
Energy. Yeah.
absolutely. So with that being said, I want to thank you again, Miss Laura. Um, please tell people once again your site. Of course, I always leave it on the bottom where they can find you. If they have any questions, some of the recommendations that she said, you can reach her directly. Where can they reach you?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again. This is very fun, and I'm very excited that we're going to do this more often, and we're going to do some lives too. So we'll see about that. It's going to be awesome. Um, well, they can find me the website of my book. The Instagram account is starseed1.11, and also by my personal account that you can find it there too. And the website is starseed111.com. And also you can find me on Telegram. I have a Telegram channel, Starseed News. And that's all for now. And you can contact me by email or by Instagram. So that's it for now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll leave all that in the comments. And like I said, you guys, if you have any questions, any comments, of course, we're always here to give recommendations. So reach out to myself, reach out to Laura. I'll leave all her stuff in there, all her links, so you guys can reach out to her personally. Amazing, amazing soul, divine feminine beauty here. And any last words? Any last things you want to leave people with?
Well, maybe we can ask people to let us know their suggestions for next topics, because we have a list, but we want to make this also um, fun and we have to talk about these types of things that are very important now that we're creating this new earth. So let us know your suggestions too, and we will take it under consideration for future podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's any topic underneath the sun, please suggest it to us. We love to talk. We love to talk. She's a Taurus, so we talk. So yeah, absolutely. You guys, once again, I want to thank you guys for people who are watching. Hopefully, we're able to shed some light on some things, just to kind of help you on your personal path that you're on, especially when it comes to health and nutrition. Um, and like I said, any comments, any questions, leave them below. But with that being said, once again, thank you, Laura, for coming and taking the time to create this space to help others, because that's what it's all about. We're here to be super souls, but we're also here to be servants. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Have yourself an amazing day, and we'll see you next time. Ciao now.
Bye.